A customer brought in a Sharp TV with no audio. There are two reasons this could happen. We're going to show you an easy and an advanced method for this repair. First, your TV could have a simple software failure. Using the home button on my remote, I'm going to go to Settings, then Support, down to Factory Reset. Okay. If that doesn't fix it, your next step should be to also perform a software update. For the software update, we'll hit the home button again, Settings, Support, and this time check for software updates. If you still have issues after that, then you may have a hardware fault, which means we'll need to open up the TV and take a closer look inside. To do that, you will need to place your TV screen facing down on a clean padded surface and remove the following screws. Now we can go ahead and remove the back cover. Audio issues are most commonly caused by defective mainboard. Let's remove the mainboard and bring it to our workbench for a closer look. Typically, the easy next step would be to replace this mainboard. Unfortunately, they're no longer available for sale, which is where we step in. We offer a flat rate mail-in repair service with a 1-year warranty for the repair of these boards. I'll have more information and links in the video description below. If you want to see exactly how we fix this board step by step, keep watching. At the bottom left, we have our speaker connector and we have our audio IC right over here. So this is the area we'll focus on. Under the microscope, it becomes very obvious we do have two burn capacitors right over here. The first thing I want to do is remove the capacitors. So we're going to add some flux. So it looks like one of the pads on one side tore off. Let's go ahead and clean up a little bit with some alcohol. So zooming in even further, we can tell that our pad now is missing because it was burnt off. So we're gonna have to reconnect right here and right here before we can go ahead and install our new capacitors. We're switching the tip we're using because those pads are very large and they're very difficult to solder with a very fine tip. All right, that looks pretty messy. Let's go ahead and clean that up. So now we want to make sure that we do have proper connections. So we want to make sure that the pad over here is making proper contact with over here, all the way to here, to these guys over here, and it is. So we do have proper contact everywhere. Now that we've removed those capacitors, our next step is to check for shorts to make sure there's not other components that are damaged in the area. So the first thing I want to do is make sure these capacitors aren't shorted. And obviously we just replaced them, so they shouldn't be. On the other side of the IC, we have similar capacitors, and they are not shorted, which is good news. At this point, we could probably plug the mainboard back in and it might work, but we do know that commonly that IC chip does fail. And on the other side of the IC chip, we have two similar capacitors that are in parallel with these two. So we are going to want to replace those as well as the IC chip. If we don't do those repairs, then it's very likely that this mainboard is going to come back for the similar faults. I'm going to first start by removing and replacing the other two capacitors. Same thing, we're going to add a little flux. I'm going to go ahead and flood both sides with solder. And the first capacitor's off. And the second. We'll go ahead and remove the excess solder we just added. I like to start by adding a little bit of solder on one side first. And then we just slide in our replacement capacitor. Then we can add just a little extra solder on the other side. Next is our large IC chip. We'll go ahead and add flux on all the pins. Now, something I like to do when I desolder some of these larger chips is add some solder on some of the pins. And this will be my visual indicator telling me when the solder is molten and when it's safe to go ahead and lift that chip off. So we're going to be using our hot air station. And we're keeping an eye out for that solder right there. Oh, and you can see right now it's molten, so that means we're getting close to that temperature. So it should be safe to lift the chip. Oh. Try with different tweezers here. And it's not coming off. Okay. And of course I did knock that capacitor. So I'm going to fix that right away. Okay, we're still kind of stuck on there. Oh, there we go. Now that was not a very clean lift, but it works. Okay, while the board's still hot, I'm gonna go ahead and remove all of our extra solder here. Okay, and clean up again. Now this chip does have a bottom pad, which means we'll need to use some solder paste. All right, and let's go ahead and put our new chip on. Go ahead and line it up best we can. Looks pretty good. And then we'll go ahead and use our hot air to reattach it. All right, everything's plugged back in. Let's go ahead and turn it back on. If you have any questions regarding our repair service or process, make sure to let us know in the comments below. If you like the video, make sure to leave us a like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. There we go.